What's up, lowrider family? Welcome back to another episode on Lolos and More. Now today I'm gonna be talking about some most frequently asked questions, the ones I get the most asked in the comments and in the emails. So hopefully, by answering these 5 questions on the video, it'll kind of help you guys out a little bit more on knowing what to do on your own ride. Um, just remember, this is what I'm saying. This is my experience. These are my opinions. Other people will have different experiences and different opinions, so you don't have to quote me on what I say because I'm only saying from what I actually went through while working on hydraulics. Um, so let's go ahead and get started. I have 5 top questions. We'll start at 5 and work to the most asked question last. So for number 5, um, would be what is the right spring and what size should I have in my car? So when they say size, I usually kind of talking about how many coils they should have on a spring before putting it in the car. Um, on top of that, you need to remember once the springs break in, the car's going to sit a lot lower. Not a lot, I didn't mean to exaggerate that, but the car will drop anywhere between an inch to 3 inches once the coil springs break in. So if you wanted, let's say, to be off the ground 5 inches, and you put your brand new springs in and you cut the springs to the exact height that you want it, but then 3 weeks later once you drive the car around and you notice that it's a lot lower and you don't like it anymore, and then you think, great, now you got to go buy some new springs because these are worn out. They're not worn out, you just broke them in. So just keep in mind, when you are cutting springs, make sure you leave an extra coil or two to give room for those springs, I should say, to break in, because it will break in and the car will sit a lot lower. Okay, when you first put in springs, they are going to be very stiff. The ride might be really bumpy. The higher the ton is, the rating on the springs are, the bouncier it's going to be, and the stiffer the ride is going to be once you first put those springs in. So wait for them to break in, and then they'll feel a lot better cruising down the road. People will ask, what if I want to have a nice smooth ride? Well, then I suggest getting like a 2-ton rating springs in the front and same in the rear. Some people go with their stock fronts and they'll put them in the back, and then they'll get the aftermarket 2-ton rating ones and put them in the front. So once they break in, it should be a really nice smooth ride. If you want something to hop with, have some fun, then I recommend putting in some 3.5 or 4-ton rating springs in the front. Try to have as much as a full stack as you can if you're trying to, hop a little bit. But if you want that nice sitting low look, then make sure you cut them to the size you want, of course. But remember, once they break in, the car will sit lower. As you buy springs or you're looking for quotes, you will see that different companies have their springs colored differently. Other companies will have them almost alike in the same color. So when you're buying used springs, if someone says, oh, this yellow spring is rated for 4-ton, but you saw on the websites that a 4-ton, for example, at CC would be yellow, but for another company it would be um, a 2-ton. So keep that in mind. Don't just go off of what they tell you. I recommend if you're gonna buy springs, just buy them brand new. That way you'll know what real rating you're buying. That way you won't be upset. Okay. Um. So that's it for question number 5. Let's go ahead and move on to question number 4. But before we do, I just want to say that I'm not being paid by any of these companies by saying their name. I'm not sponsored or anything, so I'm not being paid. I'm not really playing favoritism in this video. So let's continue. So question number 4. How many batteries you should run in your hydraulic setup? That part is completely up to you, but just keep in mind, all you need is 2 batteries to get one hydraulic pump to work. Okay? If you really want to have lowrider and you don't have that much money for batteries, but you really want to set up, I guess you can kind of do what I'm doing right now. I'm powering 2 pumps right now, my rears, off of just 2 batteries. When I hit the switch up, power goes to that wire, and I have a jumper cable that goes from that end to this on the solenoids, and then this cable goes up to the other pump. This cable over here goes up to the other pump. So you can run 2 batteries on just 2 pumps on just 2 batteries. But just keep in mind, the more you use it, the faster these are going to drain because you only have 2 batteries. The more batteries you have, the more power you'll have running to your setup. Okay? Just more power pretty much that would pretty much make the motor spin fast. That would spin your gear inside the tank, and that will shoot the oil out. Okay? The more batteries, the more voltage, the more power, the faster flow you get. Okay? Keep that in mind. And also, when running your batteries, you want to have 1 solenoid per 2 batteries. Okay? You can run 1 solenoid for 2 batteries. Alright? So that's it for number 4. So you just remember, you just need 2 batteries to power up 1 pump. Okay? But you can put as many as you want to pretty much have a stronger, faster setup. Question number 3. What type of oil to use on a hydraulic setup? Oh man, you don't know how often I get this question. Honestly, if it's just regular lowrider, not a hopper. If it's not a hopper, just use motor oil. I use 1030. Where is it? 530. I think it's 1030. I use 1030 oil, full synthetic. That's what I use. That's what I recommend other people to use. When people ask me that question, they always ask, should I get the non-detergent stuff that people talk about? Usually when you hear them talk about non-detergent hydraulic oil, most of the time they're just talking about a hopper. See, with a hopper, you need to get the most flow out of your system to try and get, up there in inches. So they'll get, the best non-detergent hydraulic oil for the hoppers. I try to get the info from some guys, but they won't say exactly what type of oil it is. So with hopping, that's like a secret, which I don't think there should be a secret. Everybody should know, but everybody has their own secret. But going back to just the regular lowrider, I just use motor oil, full synthetic, 1030. Other people use gear oil, which is a little thick, I say. So I wouldn't run that if I were you. Some people, for some reason, run transmission oil, which kind of makes sense. But from what I hear, it's not that great on seals. So I wouldn't run that. I would just run motor oil. You'll be good with just that. Now for question number 2. Are ball joint extensions safe? My answer, my opinion, I say no. I hear too many cases where the extensions break. If you pay attention to the welds on those extensions, they're TIG welds, meaning, to me, that's not a very strong weld to me. The only times where you would normally see TIG welding would be like on turbo pipes, on exhaust pipes, intake pipes, pretty much on anything that doesn't require for the part to be mechanically moving or under a lot of weight, per se. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I think these things are not that durable or even that strong, because they're using TIG welding. Maybe if these were built with MIG welds or maybe even stick welding, I don't know, maybe they would be a lot stronger and they wouldn't break. Even using like grade 8 and higher bolts for them not to snap, eventually stuff snaps. Stuff starts to bend. So, it won't look all that great. But what I prefer is, like, if you want that extension on the front end, I prefer you just grab these ball joints that have the extensions on them. I prefer those instead of the extensions themselves. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. If you want to ride safer, go with the ball joints that have the extension on it itself versus the extenders. So that's my opinion on those. Maybe if they were built differently with a different weld type, I think it would be a lot better. But they go with the TIG weld so that it looks clean. So, but yeah, you guys know what I'm trying to say. All right, here it is. The number one question most asked is, what brand of pumps are the best and what's the difference? So pretty much you can say 2 questions in 1 question. All right, I'm going to tell you guys this. Some people will agree, some people will disagree. But I'm going to tell you, with my experience, I've had 11 plus years of experience with hydraulics. Okay? Remember this. Okay? We got Pro Hopper. We got a Pro Hopper pump. Okay? It's even engraved on the block. And then we got an old school block right here. LX. Another old school pump right there. If you guys remember those, comment down below if you guys remember those. LX. Okay. These 2 pumps are the same. Exactly the same. There's no difference besides the engraving on the block and on the backing plate. They're all the same. They're all the freaking same. Hoppos, CCE, Black Magic, High Hitter, all the hydraulic brand pumps that are available to you right now, they're all the same. Okay, the only thing that makes it different, okay, two things that makes it different is the gear that you run inside of your hydraulic pump and the type of motor that you run on your pump. That's it. Other than that, all pumps are the same. These pumps are the same. Okay? They're the same. These pumps back here, they're slightly different just because they have thicker blocks. Okay? That's the only difference. But if you're looking at, let's say, an inch and a half thick block with a half-inch port or 3/4 inch port or whatever, and you're looking at a different brand, but one is more expensive because you think, okay, well, maybe one is just more expensive because it's a better brand, better quality. Quality, you can kind of put that in perspective, but it's all the same thing. The only thing that makes a difference is what is in here. Some people ask, how can I get better flow? That is all depending on how you do your own plumbing, how you do your plumbing. Okay? Yeah, that right there is a piston pump. Okay? But if you're looking at hydraulics, you're looking at a 3-inch, 3/8 port or half-inch port. They're all the same. Okay? All the thing that makes a difference is that gear. And a little bit on the motor. The motor brands, those vary because Presto High, my bad, I'm reading upside down. The better brand they are, the more durable they are. Presto High lasts a good amount. Okay, if you put up against a comp motor, they'll probably last the same amount. If you buy them brand new and break them in and you hop them, they'll probably last about the same. Okay, and I'm not being paid by anybody on what to say. All brands are the same. But one thing I'm going to say this though. One thing is, do not buy Black Magic blocks. Okay, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate about this, but don't buy Black Magic blocks. Why? Well, their design, if you can compare, they're going to look the same, okay? Not just their blocks, but their gears as well, okay? Their gears, to me, suck. I've had experience with them. A friend of mine had experience with them. Another friend had experience with them, whether they were bought brand new and they were used. The issue was their gears were leaking, and it was allowing oil to go through the block and fall into the motor and destroy the motor. Okay, my friends didn't know that the motor was destroyed by the gear until they opened the motor and saw a bunch of oil come out. And those that know, when the motor goes bad because of oil, and once you open it, you cannot bear to smell the smell that comes out of it when you open it up, when there's oil in there, when the motor goes bad because of oil. Okay, so stay away from Black Magic gears. That's what I'm mainly getting at. Their blocks, I don't know, but their gears, they leak. They are not willing to fix their design on their gears, but they're willing to sell a product that fixes their mistake. But the thing is, they should just fix their design, not sell something else to fix their screw up. Okay? Sure, I'm probably ranting on about Black Magic, but I'm just giving you guys this little heads up. You buy Black Magic, you're gonna have an issue. You're gonna leak oil from your gear to your motor. You can buy their special gaskets and seals to fix their own issue because they won't fix their own design. Then go for it. You can go ahead and buy it, but you're gonna spend extra money because they won't fix their own design. Well, this is here a Marzocchi. Okay, I'm just using that gear as an example. but try to stay away from Black Magic. But once again, all pumps are the same. All piston pumps are the same. Okay, in that lineup. All lineups of piston pumps, they're all the same. All pumps with these regular blocks are all the same. All pumps with the thick blocks, they're all the same. Like I was saying, gears and motor combination and plumbing combination is what makes the difference in the pump. If you know how to do your plumbing for faster flow, then hey, that's what you need. But if you just need something regular, just get a low price hydraulic pump from a different company than from the other company. I always recommend CCE because they're low priced. I know other ones are also low priced as well, but CCE ships fast. I'm not getting paid to say that, just so you guys know. I'm not getting paid at all for this video for anything. But I recommend CCE to the homies that are starting lowriders or don't have too much money and they're willing to go, because CCE, they're low priced and it is what it is. Okay. So if you guys are going to get mad at me for telling you that all pumps are the same, all pistons are the same, then so be it. But I'm telling you they're all the same. The only thing that makes a difference is those in the plumbing. I know I'm going over and over again, but just keep that in mind. That's it. Yeah, the ports are bigger on the thicker ones, but on the thicker ones, that's a whole lineup of themselves. These blocks right here, they're the same size blocks with the same size ports. They're in the whole lineup of themselves. They're all the same. Okay, those thick blocks, different category, but they're all the same from all brands of hydraulics that there is right now. They're all the same. There's no difference. Alright, so keep that in mind when you're looking for hydraulics. You can buy something that is around your price range. If for some reason you like, for example, this Pro Hopper backing plate. Well, they don't make them anymore, but if you find a homie that has them, you can buy them. Because you're probably thinking, well, you probably want a Pro Hopper pump. Just an example, you probably want a Pro Hopper pump because you like their logo. But it's too expensive. Well, buy something that's not so expensive and find a homie that has one used. Sand it, polish it, or powder coat it or paint it. It's up to you. Alright. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, I don't blame you. I'm not trying to go up against hydraulic companies, but I'm just saying they're all the same. Only a few things make it different. Because they all sell Marzocchi gears, okay? They all sell Rockford. CCE makes their own gears, but they also make their own blocks to go along with those gears. Black Magic has their own gears, but they're faulty. Alright? Well, that's it for this video. I'll catch you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.